Hello, and thank you for taking the time to view my classroom teaching video and hear about my reflection on this lesson. So, in this particular class, students were actually working on a propaganda poster. It was a project, which followed our lessons on historical propaganda during specifically World War II. And the lesson was designed not only to reinforce content knowledge, but also to promote creative thinking, collaboration, as they were allowed to talk amongst each other, and also critical analysis of the research. So I'd like to walk through how this lesson kind of reflects key areas of effective teaching practices, such as establishing a safe and inclusive learning environment, and while challenging and supporting students, and promoting active engagement, and use questioning to develop critical thinking. Based off of what they want to convey in their poster, so to speak. So first, I want to talk about how a safe learning environment has been established between myself and my students. So, from the beginning of the lesson, you'll notice that the classroom culture is grounded in mutual respect. I make it a point to greet students on their way in, and then when it comes to the project, I kind of played a little joke on them, and said that they had to get up and write and perform a rap in front of the class, and a lot of them were like, "No," but then I told them I was kidding, and it was a good laugh. But this is kind of part of the interaction process where it shows that we have bonded as a classroom. So then I actually go into the project itself, including the tasks and the expectations. Throughout the video, I maintain that consistency. You'll see like I'm circling the room after I give them the tasks and we watch the video. And, then I'll constantly engage with the students in a one-on-one setting with check-ins. While also sometimes addressing, and you'll hear my mentor teacher pipe in as well, and give some instructions also. So this culture was actually put into place by my mentor teacher and taught to me. So I'm very intentional about maintaining that culture by creating a classroom where all the students really feel seen and heard and valued. So that includes things like addressing students by name, checking in on their progress in a way that encourages effort, and using praise, for the things that they're doing well. So this project and filming actually took place early on in my student teaching tenure. So I already can tell that there's much to improve on, which I'll address in the next video. You'll notice that as I set up the project and I try to give as clear expectations as possible, which is one of the things we'll talk about in the next video. However, I am happy that the students are comfortable asking me questions. And I also like that they're comfortable collaborating with each other while the project is going on, and that they are able to express themselves creatively. So that sense of safety and comfort doesn't happen overnight. It was originally built through consistent classroom routines, clear expectations, and a lot of relationship building over the semester for me. So by inserting myself into the rows, I feel that it makes myself more accessible to the students, and also allows me to help them in these smaller settings. So whether it be in a one-on-one setting or if there's a small group of students listening. So moving into how I challenge and support the students. So this project is really meant to push their thinking. And that's by requiring them to gain historical knowledge through the research about the country and the dictator, and also creatively put together some persuasive messaging. I mean, this is a propaganda poster, right? So they're not just recalling facts, they're creating something new that actually demonstrates understanding of how the propaganda works. So, and at the same time, I know that projects like this can feel kind of overwhelming for some students, especially if they struggle with creativity or interpretation. So that's why I try to break the assignment up into manageable steps and provide scaffolding throughout for those who need so. So I offer a instruction template for them. Let's see. All right, so here's the World War II propaganda poster project. You'll see there's the task, and then here is the poster that they have to create with some criteria that's listed below. And then there's a written component. And so here for the criteria, you'll have the poster and exactly what it is supposed to be, how is it supposed to be done. Which countries they're allowed to choose, and I left USA off on purpose because otherwise everybody would just use USA. And then we had the written portion where we have the 3 body paragraphs and then the reflection, 1 paragraph reflection. And then here's the presentation portion. Show the poster in class, see if the other students, the peers can guess which country it is and kind of what propaganda task it's supposed to be conveying. And then here is the rubric that they'll follow. That will be on the back of the propaganda poster project handout that we give to them. And then we kind of dive into the video. As you can see within the video, it's a propaganda techniques explained in 8 minutes video that I found on YouTube. And it was very useful in being able to explain to the students exactly the different types of propaganda techniques that were used back then, and some of it actually still used now, and they were actually more familiar with some of them than they realized that they were, due to social media and things of that nature. So as I walk around, I differentiate support based on the student need. Some students need help understanding how to visually represent abstract ideas, while others may need support connecting their message to their actual historical content. So I'll ask those probing questions to kind of guide their thought process, rather than just give them direct answers. And then at the same time, I'm also available for clarification and encouragement. I like to encourage the students to share their ideas with their peers, bounce ideas back and forth, hey, and then you can really see that peer collaboration kind of, take form there. And also some students would rather ask, a peer than a teacher at first, for whatever reason. So you'll see active engagement is woven throughout the structure of the lesson, through both teacher and student, and then also you'll see students interacting as well. And when asked a question, I ask kind of open-ended questions back, so that way I'm just not giving them the answer, as I mentioned. And also for those students who may be ELL or LD students, I actually will hand them like vocab sheets or word banks. But for this project, actually, as the students were beginning to, go through the research and, really start designing their propaganda posters, I want to make sure that they actually fully understand what propaganda is and what it is not. And so that's where I kind of created this handout that's up. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. It's a side-by-side comparison of propaganda examples and also non-examples. So you'll have the examples here, a poster that shows a leader as a superhero saving a country. And then here's a non-example, a newspaper article that reports both the good and the bad actions of a leader. And, therefore, it'll give an example of both. And here's an explanation. And this really helps the students, especially the ELL learners and those with LDs, because it helps build kind of that strong foundational understanding using like visual, concrete examples. So, and it also encourages them to think, critically about the biased messaging that they may need to, convey. So, and then also to support students in planning their own poster, I also have another, graphic organizer. Here we go. Right here. So, and it asks, pretty basic questions though. There, you'll see it's what dictator are you focusing on? What message do you want your poster to send? What propaganda technique will you lose? Fear, bandwagon, nationalism. What image or symbol will you include? And so on and so on. So, there's a couple good ones there. And, it really also encourages them to think critically about intent and bias and things of that nature. So, it's designed to, really kind of help those ELL students in mind, and also have those learners benefit from this kind of structure, because it's like getting their thought process started by answering these questions, and then it'll make the propaganda poster process a little more streamlined, and it kind of scaffolds the entire creative process and gives students a way to organize their thinking, kind of just before jumping into the artistic part of the project. So. And overall, this lesson really reflects my ongoing commitment to creating that and maintaining a classroom environment that's safe and that's engaging and that's still intellectually challenging and stimulating and makes them want to really engage actively. So my goal is really to support every learner, not just in mastering content, but also kind of developing those skills, to think critically and work together and express themselves. So I'm actually really proud of the way that students responded to this project and how they took ownership of their learning. So, hey, thanks again for watching, and I look forward to continuing to grow, and I'll see you in the next video. All right.